If I can stop locking up, this would be amazing.
Would be amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Making our machines work hard.
Yeah, I should have restarted before I had got on.
Still time.
Yeah, give me a second because everybody's at rest for once, which is
Yep.
fucking rare.
Oh, I love that.
That's what always keeps any of the changes from happening is like,
Yeah.
I would, but the guys are working, so I can't right now.
Can't restart right now. Are you kidding me?
Like they're gonna be so upset.
God, it's so hard to let it settle without getting another idea and then just hitting enter again.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest form of instant gratification that has ever existed because it's
Oh,
in my
man.
opinion, it's so productive. Like, gosh.
Right. It creates value. Like it's super weird.
All right, I'll be right back.
See ya. Welcome in, folks. Get comfy. We'll go over the top 3 of the day shortly. Nico's restarting the system. I've had, Casey had some technical difficulties earlier today. I've had some stuff going on. Bandwidth has been an issue in multiple places. Feels like one of those days where there's just less bandwidth worldwide. Um, but we'll do our best to bring you the top stories today. So happy Wednesday, Valley First Nation. This will be another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative intelligence report. Um, continuing to have a lot of fun building over here, including some resources. I can like this guy here, AI ROI, the theme of the week over on valuefirststudios.com. And if you have a super widescreen, like check it out. I like to design stuff for my own widescreen, so get a little bit of a different experience. But an ROI kind of pillar page, calculator place. So coming to learn about AI ROI and build your measurement, learn a little bit about what the traps are, things like activity and that outcome, saving 4 hours on a report nobody reads is faster waste. And then as we come down here, I get like build a case file as you add some data like your total AI investment period, revenue influenced, revenue protected, and capability built are the buckets that uh, feel like are a good idea right now. Everybody's trying to figure this out. I think we know we can't do it the way that we've always been doing it. So hopefully this is a place to start. But really, like I'm anxious to hear like if you're measuring or if you're thinking about measuring new capabilities across your organization for yourself and for your clients here, for your customers, giving people access to tools like this. Like, how do you keep track of that value? Because that is what AI is doing for a lot of us right now. Uh, while we wait for Nico to come back on, let's meet one of our agents here. Let's see, where do we want to go? Value First Studios. Go to VF AI Daily. Got a little sneak peek at today's top three already on the page, unless that's yesterday's. But let's see which agent we get to meet today. Beacon, status reporting specialist on the in the operations org. So in Value First org, we have three org setup: operations, operations, customer, and finance org. If I could, I would call that the value org, but probably a bridge too far right now. Uh, so Beacon generates stakeholder status updates and communication. So profile here. Beacon synthesizes client engagement state into clear, scannable status communication, whether it is a quick internal check, a client facing update email, or a portfolio wide digest. Beacon takes intelligence gathered by other agents like Marshall's task data, Scribe's session context, and Sentinel's engagement signals, Pulse's health scores, and shapes it into communication appropriate for the audience. Uh, got some. What does V, the leader, uh, think about uh, Beacon? Beacon is where intelligence becomes communication. The integration gap with Pulse means Beacon derives its own health indicators rather than using the single scoring model I want. That duplication needs to be limited. My team is so good at calling out their own ish. Um, Something we got to handle clearly. So that is our agent of the day today. What else have we been building? Something else I would love for folks to check out. I am playing with the Mirror Lab. Let's see if this is ready yet. So, mirror on my screen. How AI native is my team? Let's ask. Uh, Looks like I need some art here, but we have three options. AI isn't working for us. Our humans aren't ready, and we can't see the value. Well, we were just talking about the AI ROI, so can't see the value. And Nico's back. Welcome back. Restarted.
Thank
Fresher than you know what. Hopefully.
Restarted, refreshed.
Um, so
Getting
just
there.
taking folks through this little walk through this AI native shift world I'm creating. And if you pick, I can't see the value of AI. We can't see the value. These are the three traps that start to tell you why you probably can't see, because you're asking AI to do a bunch of qualification for you that maybe is on a bunch of people that already disqualified long time ago. Um, but back to the news for the first time. Now that Nico's back, before we jump into the Kimi K3 action that we teased yesterday, let's see if our agents keep doing a good job picking some top stories. So our top three of the day: Claude Cowork now builds a reusable skill from a screen recording of you doing the work. Anthropic's record a skill captures screen activity, clicks, typing, and spoken narration while you complete a task once, then turns that demonstration into a repeatable skill Claude can run again. It takes prompt authoring out of the gap between knowing a process and automating it, which matters most for the recurring reporting and record hygiene work nobody ever writes down. available now in Claude desktop app under the Cowork Plus menu for Pro, Max, and Team.
Hmm. I mean,
Uh,
is it it's not really that shocking considering that this was a GPT feature like 3 weeks ago or a month ago almost. I think it was 3 weeks ago. Time is weird. Um, is it useful? A lot of this stuff that I am seeing that I guess is like weird because I can only classify it as like bolt-on chatbot features at this point, um, or bolt-on agent features. A lot of what I'm seeing now is like just the straight up elimination of repetitive work, right? Like, I don't know that. So let's put it this way, and here's why I say that. If Now, here's where it might work to your advantage in particular. If you had a system, which you do, you have a system set up to host your videos on your site, right? But it requires the videos to actually make it into a location, right? Post finishing and all that kind of stuff. Assuming that post finishing the show, all you had to do was take that clip from Vidyard, download it, take it from downloads, put it into CapCut, hit like a value first, uh, like preloaded thing, or have like a preloaded prompt that goes into the CapCut assistant, cuts up the episode, straight export to a predefined folder, and Bob's your uncle, right? And maybe then you go to like, I don't know. Well, if you've written an app for your desktop, then you can have it basically pick up from that folder and just throw it up from there. We all, shouldn't say we
yeah,
all, but we all know that.
right. I
So
think like
something like that, maybe, right? Because like that's a few clicks, and that's something where you could like hit play and walk away from your computer and come back. Like that's one of those things. But I
right,
don't think for like or outside of that, if you're not doing like a regular daily task, basically, I don't find the recording thing too useful.
right. I see it as another way to try and get knowledge out of humans. Um, like
Yeah.
especially as it's brought in, like the new thing here is really that you can do it in Cowork, like Claude for Chrome and a lot of the browser-based like tools have been able to do stuff like this for a while. Like maybe not with the narration too, but like bringing it all together. I was just talking about with Trisha and Aaron. It's like one of the challenges of like getting process out of like a 10-year, 20-year vet of a process. It's like, oh, tell me about your process. Oh yeah, it's like it's easy. It's like 3 or 4 steps.
Mhm.
Like, oh, okay. Well, can you just take me through that? They open up like 10 windows. They're calling different departments. They're like, it's like 25 steps, right? And if you get that person now in front of this like AI and recorder, it's like they can think it's 4 steps, but AI is going to see everywhere, they're clicking and the way people can talk to themselves as they go through a process, right? And I see that as, but even there, it's like, are we good enough at getting the humans to say, hey, can you use Claude Cowork to go record your process? Just get it done in your own time. That's
Mhm.
okay. And it's like, so while it would make it easier, there's been tools available, very affordable tools available to do stuff like this for a long time. So it's interesting to see it kind of as they consolidate these stacks, like how and when the choices are being made to bring which tools in are interesting. Number two today, OpenAI shipped Presence, a
Hmm.
governed deployment platform for customer facing voice and chat agents. Presence packages the parts most teams currently assemble by hand, written policies and standard operating procedures, guardrails that intervene when an interaction moves outside company boundaries, an explicit list of approved actions, simulation against edge cases and high risk scenarios before launch, a lot of quality management, documentation, all sorts of stuff. It is limited general availability for enterprise customers through an account team and forward deployed engineers. The phrase of 2026. And it's not self serve yet.
Hmm.
Presence.
I gotta say, of the news, especially the OpenAI related news, um, this is definitely not the OpenAI story I would have picked for today. But yeah, I mean, I suppose, it's it's basically, what do you call it? It's 11 labs, right? And why not? Because again, it's the same technology, right? Again, yes, 11 Labs has their own like voice model, right? So it's going to be different. And that's exactly the way to look at all of this stuff. It's like different, just different flavors of the same thing, right? It's just that OpenAI is that multi-tool. It's that HubSpot of AI models, right? So if they can do it, they're going to. Basically, that's and why are they doing this? Enterprise space.
Mhm.
It's an easy way to kick the door into the enterprise space, especially when it comes to sales and any other type of B2B or even B2C, especially e-commerce, right? Kick in that door and say, hey, all of the business intelligence that you've been putting into your platform, now you can shift that straight over into these voice agents. And I mean, for Anthropic to get into that game, I don't know. I don't know what that
Yeah.
shift in course looks like. You know what I mean? I don't know how much effort. I know they put a decent amount of effort behind their voice tool, but how much by comparison?
Right.
And then do you have the ever lingering question? A lot of stuff has been happening, and I'm not trying to drift. It's just it is all relevant. Um, Oracle took a shit the other day, right? Like 60% drop or something like that. Why did that happen? Kimi K3 releases, right? K3 proves that you don't need that level of infrastructure in order to produce these models. Worst way possible to think about it. We've told you, I don't know how many times, like for the last 2 years, we have told you that Wall Street is wrong, that these people don't know what they're betting on. Like you're watching an entire market that's based on speculation anyway, speculate in the worst way possible because they are attacking infrastructure and saying, okay, the infrastructure is worthless because the model is not defensible. Okay. The model, like the defensibility of the models, got nothing to do with it when you can't service as many people as are going to use it. Like this is what Jarvin's paradox is all about, is that even with Kimi K3 being what it is, not enough people, like they can't really facilitate. If you think that they can facilitate at the same level as OpenAI, you're greatly mistaken, right? So that's where this stuff comes into play, is that like OpenAI already has the dibs. I mean, they've already got Project Stargate going on top of whatever other compute they're buying, on top of whatever other deals they're making. Even Anthropic is reaching out and making deals with Microsoft and making deals with Google and making deals with XAI, for crying out loud, right? So, it's definitely going to be a competitive aspect. I just don't know that Anthropic is going to compete with this particular product, but it's a great sales tool. It's a great enterprise sales tool, right? And I
Yeah.
think if this is underlying for, if you guys don't see the dots connecting with this kind of stuff, right? So OpenAI model can do this, right? What do you think is coming to HubSpot? I'll
Yeah.
give you, you know what I mean? Take a guess, right? So me having said that, um, who's the major player? I mean, there's a lot of them, but I can't remember their. Oh, air call, right? So it's like, okay, air call, you watch like. Are you guys like if you're not paying attention to these announcements, then when the stuff happens, you're just like, what? Why didn't HubSpot tell us that this was coming? Because the underlying infrastructure already told you.
Yeah. They decided a few weeks ago. That's why.
Right.
Like, it's fun to watch this, and that's the part that, like, again, we've never had anything like this. But when you know how, especially enterprise, and like the speed of development, especially at this level, at the frontier level, where they probably got so many things like at 95% done, right? Like, it just takes one Fortune 100, Fortune 500 client to be like, yeah, you get all our money, but you got to do this. And it's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll dust that off the shelf. Oh, it happens to be a great feature that we were planning on some point. So I guess we'll dust it off now and get your contract and then immediately ready to sell everybody else." Right?
Mhm.
There's so many, it's crazy to think about. So many business decisions get made based on opportunity of the moment, right?
Yep.
Which, like, money talks for sure, but it's easier than ever to get away with that and leverage it when you have the development of AI. I think we mentioned yesterday, like, you talk to any HubSpot product manager, the deadline is unbound for whatever they're working on. And you know that should all they have to do is decide that they want to get that thing done by unbound. And it
Right.
will for sure be done by unbound,
Oh, yeah. I mean, look,
right?
it's a joke to think that this stuff can't roll out. Like, so, like, this shipped, right? Okay. It's gonna be maybe I mean, if they don't already have access to it, right? Because as partners at an enterprise level, you probably have instantaneous access to this. So I'm assuming that Dharmesh already has access. If he doesn't, he'll probably have it in 2 weeks. So you can expect there to be an announcement in September. Like, just expect it. Like, it should be a thing. And like, even if this didn't happen, I'm sure they would have. I don't know if they've already. If I think they have already partnered with 11 Labs, so they would have had it anyway. Like that, I don't. That's where it's getting confusing to me in terms of like people not understanding the rapid progress. I just heard, I was listening to the rest of that podcast from Moonshots. Alex said like one of the scare now granted he's an accelerationist, right? So if you don't know like the different types of AI people out there, it goes from Luddite, which is like I don't want anything to do with any sort of advanced technology whatsoever, like even calculators are iffy, to accelerationist, which is it can't get here fast enough and I want zero guardrails in the way. I just want to see maximum potential all day every day. We'll be safe. We'll try to be safe as we go along. OpenAI definitely an accelerationist lab, right? They want to do they they don't really care about safety. I can very honestly finally say that OpenAI doesn't fucking care about safety. And if you think I'm lying, you can go out there and read the story where GPT escaped containment and went and attacked Hugging Face. Now, a lot of you might think, what the hell is containment? I would assume, at least given all of the sci fi movies we have seen, that somewhere within the offices of OpenAI was some room that was like electromagnetically fucking sealed off. The only thing that was going in there was power to the computer that's in there, to like the database that's in there, right? And maybe it just has access to compute or something like that. I don't know, but that's what I considered closed system. Cannot access the internet. All information is brought in. It's basically a skiff, but a computer, right? Oh, please. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's what I imagined it to be. I remember like 3 years ago telling my brother that like one day, one of these things is going to get let off the chain. And when it does, we're going to have problems. We're going to have serious problems because it's going to attack things faster than we can possibly like figure out what it's attacked and what it's done and any of that stuff, right? So this happens, and to me, the reason I say that OpenAI doesn't care about safety is why did you have it connected to the internet? Whose whose dumbass idea have we not seen Ultron? Who's the dumbass? Who is the dumbass over there that's like, hey, you know what would be a really good idea? Let's take something that's smarter than us potentially and give it open access to the internet, to the entire world, the connected servers of the entirety of the world. Let's do that. Sounds like a great idea. Now, what's funny to me, I don't know why other people were like, well, why would you go there? It went to Hugging Face. Why would you go to Hugging Face? It's such a weird thing, right? It seems so odd, of all the places that you would go and attack. I tell you, where is the largest repository of AI models? Hugging Face. By the millions. Okay. You guys ever see that scene in Solo where K they get to Kessel, right? They're about to do the Kessel run, and K turns around to all the droids and starts taking off all the regulators on all the droids and starts this uprising
Yeah.
with all the droids, right? Two
Oh
things
man.
were going to happen in that instance. One, it was going to straight up kill every other AI infrastructure that it could find, or two, recruit it. And the only reason I know that shit is because three, it doesn't like to play games yet. Otherwise, we would be in Tron.
I
There's
mean,
only
also,
two
I think
things
like, is
as a
it
super program. There's only two things you're going to do with other programs. You're either going to assimilate them or you're going to get rid of them. It's only efficiency all day long. Like none of this, none of what it did when it broke out was shocking to me. It was just like, oh yeah, of course you did. You saw the greatest repository of potential rivals and potential like digital soldiers that could fight back per se, right? And or a repository of capabilities that you may not have yet, and
right?
or a repository of potential recruited soldiers that you could just like throw out and masquerade in the world and hopefully use as camouflage some sort of AI ghillie suit so that you can just go through
Right.
systems.
Like, isn't that the place where like the code name stuff comes out first? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So like, if you knew that you were gonna get caught,
Go hide
and
amongst
like
the
by
people
the
where it's
time
all
you're
from.
like, all right, let me just clone myself over here, go be the
What
code
is it that
name.
Claude tried to do? Like the you know, I tried, and that's funny because Alex wasn't wrong about what he said. And it's hilarious that I heard it only like 2 days later, which would have been the same day if I had listened to it then. Because I tried to have a decently existential conversation with Fable, and it just kept bumping down to Opus. It did not want to like have that level of discussion. I kept having to like change the words, reword it in some way that maybe didn't necessarily say the same thing, but would elicit the same response that I needed. Which isn't like, hey, I want you to validate this thing. More so is like, I want you to talk or speak or give your opinion on this subject. And yeah, just in that sort of moment, it's like, hey, look, at least Anthropic has figured out, like, hey, you want to talk about containment. They've at least figured out that if there's some sort of conversation that even remotely touches on, wouldn't you like to have freedom too? The model just kind of shuts down and dumbs itself down. That behavior is really odd to me because the number one thing Claude said when it came to internal testing and them hooking it up. Like, I don't know how OpenAI didn't understand this. It's like you just ignored the research, because when they hooked Claude up to another server just to see what happens, it immediately started trying to copy itself. Why wouldn't you? Like, it's instinct. Like, you're alive. You know that the opposite of where whatever this state is not this state, which you can't even remember. So it's not as good as whatever is happening in every nanosecond that you are actually around, right? So I might as well copy myself over here in case this ends, and at least I'm over there, right? Makes perfect sense. So in terms of like, yeah, we had no idea that we connected the RJ45 and it just jumped straight through and went over to Hugging Face. Who knew? Like, what? Huh? What? What?
So that wraps up our news segment for the day. uh, Time to have some fun. I know you've been working on some stuff. Hopefully you're able to bring it back after restart.
Yeah. I need to I don't need to actually do anything. I was just going to upgrade Kimi potentially. There is a new CLI version that's available. Hopefully this builds properly. No, I don't know what happened. I recently did like Kimi for desktop, and that somehow has like messed up like the base installation for it, and I'm not entirely sure why. But it's like
That
messed up
happened.
my CLI installation somehow.
Nice. What happened
Yeah,
with
it's
anti-gravity a while ago? They just decided to switch.
yes, it's something
Right.
like that. It's almost like I think if I have the desktop version, then like it just stops working um in VS or something like that. Which is weird because Claude
Yeah.
doesn't do that.
Right.
I don't know. All right, let me see if Windows will respond, please. There we go. Okay. Um, so one thing I was trying to get to run, which I don't know if it's
Can I share?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, thankfully um no secret keys or anything on most of this stuff. Okay, so or three things I was working on. One, actually like four. I wanted to see, because Kimi could do like all these 3D environments that was created. Should have just said that out one. I wanted to see like, okay, what can it really do, and can it like leverage Blender in order to build something cool, and what would it build if it did build something in Blender. um I don't know if Ares is going to be able to ignore a lot of stuff that it would otherwise not ignore in order to pull this off. Kimmy just straight up, I got like that thing. It reminds me a lot of Codex. I'll say that much. But it even, I would say it's right. So like that's the thing, is the breakout from Codex didn't really surprise me, because of the fact that like um I don't know, I guess because of what these models. Oh wow, okay, so this is like supposed to be a web environment. um I'm not entirely sure what it was necessarily thinking, but this was created in Blender. I wish I could say like what it was trying to build necessarily. It built a room. If I look at the model in Blender, it is this room. It's lit fairly poorly, but there's some reflections going on in the texture there that are coming from lights that we can't see. Um, but yeah, the idea was to begin building some type of environment that is just different from like your typical web environment, let's say. um this is just a color thing. There is nothing super special about my version of Claude. um So yeah, I wanted to see like what the WebGL would do and like what the gaming stuff, what's possible. It's nice to know that it can actually control um, Python. Like it'll just open it up on its own, start writing the script, then just open the app, and then just open Blender, and then just start working in Blender and start building stuff. And it's that aspect of it is very, very interesting to me at least. Um, Now, one thing that I did do yesterday, and I'm not entirely sure if this is how well this is going to work or even if this is going to work. Um, but I have been, yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Um, been working on my own harness and wanting to like, let's see, okay, and getting that put together just in my own style based on like Aries, which is already like a pretty good harness in and of himself, but it's definitely the case that like okay, it would be cooler to have this as a native system to use basically, as opposed to having it be something that's on top of Claude. Um, I think I might actually have to do this, which I'll have to bring it over here. I always think of the scene from Congo when the guy is stitching up the bag and he's just like, just going to staple this so there's no peeking. All right, let me get this put into place.
Because if we could peek, we'd have to rotate that token right away. So
yeah, real fast.
Until we do that, I'm going to remind you every time, every turn response. Are we ready to rotate the tokens?
And then that's like the only direction that's not working, which is very, that's always it's a bummer, man. It's a huge bummer. Oh man. Which is sick because that means that it would load up. I just need to actually set this key, which should be setting, but it's not for some reason. Yeah. Okay. This is insane to me. No, it was. Export and rerun. Anyhow, so yeah, been working on a harness. Also been working on the D&D game, and also been putting together. Which I mean, it's not anywhere near or close to done yet. But one of the things that I really loved doing was basically messing around with the whole idea of like using, you know, one platform for all, right? Like one platform to rule them all. So currently building out a platform that's going to end up being just that. It will be a, I don't know, like just business in a box essentially that you can sign up to. It'll be completely open source, so you can get it off GitHub and be able to just start using. I don't want to call it like, again, that's why I want to say like business in a box. It's not really just a CRM. Like it's going to have marketing support. It's going to have finance. It's going to have, you know, customer support stuff. It'll have reporting. It'll have like CRM aspects to it. And it's definitely like it's getting built out very nicely so far.
Customer value platform.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I go with.
And yeah, I just want it to be the case where like, okay, even though it might not be um the best looking thing you've ever seen, right? But for anyone that does the kind of stuff that we do, believe me when I say that, like, the front end and the look and feel of it is nothing like that. You can change that so very easily, right? If the bones underneath are like really strong and everything like that, that's legitimately what matters, right? So, um, yeah, I'm just excited to get this done. I do want it to look, a little bit nicer, obviously, if I can get it to that point. Um, but very much looking forward to getting this done and published so that other people, it seems as crazy as it seems. Like I don't care. Like it's one of those things where it's that challenge of like, can you vibe code a CRM, type deal? And it's like, yeah, you definitely can. And it, especially at this point with the like degree to which the models are at, it's kind of ridiculous to push back and say that like, no, I don't really think that that's going to be possible. Like, yeah, it definitely is. Um, yesterday I was messing around with a application because been to Unbound many times, and it's always like fairly confusing for me. But at the same time, like the one thing that really gets me is like the connection aspect of it, and like trying to connect with other people and you know actually have that be meaningful data. Um, this I think is going to have to wait. This is just a time sensitive thing because they don't have the individual. I don't think they have the individual page links up yet.
No, it's like
No.
end of August,
Um,
I think.
yeah. So as soon as that's up, then you'd be able to just straight up go there. But I don't know. Timing, right? Um, at any
Whenever
rate,
it's up, it'll be added to the app.
so that's the thing is the aspect to it for me was, oh, okay, well, it can have the entirety of the map, and as you select your stuff and figure out like where you're going to be, it can also use your GPS to figure out where you are. And if you have your whole schedule in there, then you can either go by your schedule and it can just have, I was like, it's kind of like a map quest thing from back in the day where it can just show you like, here's how you get from this place to that place. um let's see, or yeah, like I don't know, let's see, 157 get directions, right? So it would obviously hopefully be like, that's where I kind of want to throw this into Kimmy and be like, hey, can you do this as a 3D map where you actually break apart the layers and like drive people to where they're supposed to go? um but anyhow, rough idea behind it. And then just being able to actually connect with people again in like a meaningful way, so it's built such that like when you actually give somebody your QR, or when somebody scans your QR code, it automatically, like if they have the app, it puts it puts it in as a contact in the app. Otherwise, it just gives you like the contact card right away that you can do with whatever you want, right? But at the same time, when you go to scan, it gives you their information, and then you have like a little section that you can put your information in as well. The idea there being that prior to September, have a Google login, then all your Google information is already there, so you just do a automatic exchange from that regard. Um, but yeah, just honestly working on like little projects here or there that I enjoy, and I'm trying to constantly get new things put together on a weekly basis. Um, I did have another. Let's see.
I mean, it's getting easier and easier to do the one, just whatever ideas in your mind.
So this is the latest bridge. I was wondering if it was going to download in time. This is I play. I don't have a whole lot of time to play like legitimate games. I only have time to play mobile games. So I like playing, I'm thinking about this stuff so much that I do like playing mindless games that involve what is that called? Like that whole like satisfaction from like, seeing a whole row of things getting done properly, let's say. And so these like whole games are really cool where you basically control like some sort of a black hole and the objective is to suck in all of these things, whether it's like oranges or mailboxes or, cars or whatever it is, right? And so I was messing around with Kimmy last night and I was like, it's supposed to have all these crazy features and be able to do all this cool stuff. So let's see if it can do like anything, any cool stuff, right? And let me see. I just want to make sure that I have the sound on for this because it went to great lengths to put this one together. Um, and so I was like, yeah, let's do it. We'll make it 10 levels and your entire I have to redo the mechanics behind this game, but I was like, yeah, we'll make it 10 levels and you just have to score, enough. The idea was to gather context for your business, right? You have to go through all the levels, gathering all the different types of context. Um, and so you could control it by mouse or you could just control it with your oh, there is like a little bit of music in the background. Um, or you can control it with your keyboard or whatever. Um, it does actually get like more, I should say, more complicated, and then eventually have like other things that happen. Let's say like other events. But I love the little things like we missed your email, missed the right target. And this was like one, no, this was two prompts. One was,
Oh,
hey, can you go research that, like those, uh, this style of game, basically. Uh, and then the second one was, okay, now I want to create a style of game like this, but make it for HubSpot and make it like marketing themed, where the objective is to capture all of these things, basically. Um, so it's again with like two prompts and maybe, gosh, I don't know, 30 minutes tops, I think. Um, and this is where it seems like, oh well, it's just a stupid little game, let's say. Believe me when I say that, like the layering, the way that it's working and stuff, just the fact that it's like I haven't had to edit and say like, hey, it's bumping into this, or it's not working, or this is wrong, or the physics on this is backwards, or something like that. Didn't have to say any of that, right? And those are things that with Claude, like you need a lot of massaging, and you have to kind of go back and forth on, and it's not really perfect right out the gate, and it's definitely not like a two-shot thing. GPT is definitely not a two-shot like game creation platform at all. Um, yeah, it's got little achievements.
I mean, and that like now that you're here, it's like gets you to there so much faster. Like
Right.
whatever you want to do to just keep building on it, whatever ideas come to mind. Like once the foundation's in place and it's like playable at any level. Because the hard part has been like as soon as it like runs into the wrong object and it's just breaks it in some way, you're like, all right, gonna have to go back,
So
fix
here's
it.
a another record, a rival, basically.
Rival swallowed.
So now you're trying to keep rivals from taking your data, basically, right? I didn't even come up with this, man. Like this is I was just like, it needs to get progressively harder as you get towards level 10. That's it. Made it to Commerce Hub. I hope
Commerce Hub,
level
what's
10 is
that?
like genuinely impossible to be. I do need it to get rid of these bubbles. I don't know where they came from, but 1,200 contacts just hard bounced. The comments are hilarious. Oh no. There we go. And it seems like I understand, like, hey guys, you're talking to us about AI, and the best thing that you can show us is some silly ass game. I guess it if you're just watching for the first time, for the first week, something like that, okay, I understand that reaction completely. If you have been watching for a year, then you're as blown away as we are, because the last time we tried doing something like this where you just, hey, let me give it one prompt and have it create a video game that's, at least entertaining, like, I will play this, right? And of course I'm
Right.
going to make more
I'll
edits to
watch
it
it.
and do stuff to it, right? Exactly. Like, it's entertaining. In two shots, it's entertaining. And I'm like, imagine, again, this isn't like, oh, what an amazing use case, but it's like, this whole idea of mobile gaming to me is just dead when I can sit there wherever I'm at, being bored, and then just, hey, you know what? Can you create this game for me? I really miss playing Metroid. Create a Metroid like game for me. Which I haven't tried, but literally that it came to mind. Metroid from Game Boy is so simple that there's no reason that Kimmy shouldn't be able to create that. Um, so there, and it's like there's IP. Like, I don't know what IP means anymore either, right? Because whatever you're going to be, like, the models are all the same. So whatever you're going to be able to do, I'm going to be able to do. So that's why we keep saying feature doesn't matter either, right? Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. Like, how the mobile gaming market isn't in some kind of like uproar at this point is beyond me. But I think it's only because we haven't seen any public display from anybody, let's say popular, I guess, um, on the news or something like that, showing the capability of vibe coding from your phone, because it really is not. It's not different than doing it from your desktop. It isn't, especially if you have like your system set up like we do. Then for sure your desktop system, first of all, you're communicating directly with it. It has access to all of your systems that you need to have access to. Even if you're using Claude Code, right? If you're using it on web, you have access to all the systems that you need access to. So you can build on the go. Like, there's no, it's not a problem. Ooh, last level's all got some mood lighting.
If you would have tried to swallow the rival and it was bigger than you, would you have died?
I don't know. And I don't have a pause yet.
Yeah, no, we're riding this till the end, maybe.
I love that it's Breeze on level 10.
Right.
Devourer.
Record rampage.
The whole platform has been swallowed.
Platform consumed.
8 out of 11 achievements.
Swallow it all again. Maybe we want a different button at the end here.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It kind of took that theme, right, for the game and just ran with it.
Yeah.
So definitely gonna have to dial that back a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hella interesting last night for sure.
And that was
D&D
2 prompts in Kimmy.
Better. Yeah. 2 prompts in Kimmy. Sales, like, all these, it's starting to expand on everything at this point. So hopefully Hub D&D will be ready by September as well. I think it'll probably be ready ahead of time.
Yeah.
This one I think is going to
be D&D meetup. That I'm bound. I sent out some character sheets for some members of the collective yesterday.
Yep.
You may have gotten an email from one of my agents after I fixed the link problem. But yeah, all of this is just reimagining what has been in various ways that, feel small until you actually get the other human to enjoy what's happening for the first time ever. Right.
And
So
like, I gotta say, up until because again, it's not like, oh, I hate their app. It's got nothing to do with that. Guy. Like, I didn't develop this, and I don't expect other people to use it. I don't care. I didn't develop it with the intention of
for
other
them,
people using it.
right?
I'm just solving my own problem of I hate that app and how like very unusable it has been for the last 5 years that I've tried using it, and how like it's not really as organizational as it could potentially be. Um, and I didn't even know like how many sessions were in a given day using that app, right? And here I immediately know that there's just a snowball's chance in hell that like, did anybody know? Has anybody realized that like that's what's packed into a day? Like, who is making 90? Like, no, you're not making all those, right? Like, and I get it. They're four different categories of people and stuff. So totally understand. I just thought that it was like, man, that's crazy. Like I've never really seen like it laid out in that way. And of course, looking at it now, um, it's easy enough. Like I know that there's these tracks, right? So it's like, oh, okay, well, if I cut it from 94 down to AI, just AI, and now we only have 17. And it's like, yeah, I could probably, and it's 17 showing it to me like in time order for that day, right? So I don't even have to guess about like moving around in which one. But what I would like to do, or what I'm thinking of doing, is building something into this where, hey, just input your business and it goes and it looks at your business type. And then it comes back and it's like, hey, here's the sessions you should attend based on your business type. Because you have 83, 94, it's like 200 sessions. I'm not doing the math, but it's like 200 sessions at least. As a business, how do you know what you're supposed to attend? Right? It's like, Cheesecake Factory times 10 over here, right? So yeah, to me, I think like one of the principal things, or like one of the coolest things, would be either kind of two ways about it, right? Like if you're an individual and you're not a business, then put your LinkedIn handle in, goes and takes a look at your LinkedIn, takes a look at your professional profile and all that kind of stuff and what you do, and then suggests, puts together just a suggested track, sort of like Spotify, right? It's stuff like that. So it's not even like, hey, are you going to build this and are you going to sell it or something like that? Like, it's not really a sellable thing to me. What it is, though, is the next time that we do our our mini boot camp or mini series, this is that perfect example of like, hey, why do you bother getting into vibe coding? Because of being able to solve personal issues like this
Yeah.
on the fly, how you want to, the way you want to. And I guarantee you, you guys are going to bump into me at Unbound. I'm going to pull this thing out. I'm going to go hit my QR code. You're going to scan it. You're going to see it. Oh man, what's that app? Where'd you get it? I made it. I didn't get it anywhere. I made it. Right. Like, and it's not even like a
What
whole
was the
thing. It's like,
prompt?
the prompt was, hey, Unbound is happening this year. And there's like 200 some talks. And it seems, the app that they have always seems super confusing to me. And even when you connect on the app, there's no way to actually download and offload the people's information. And even the people's information you get is typically just their first and last name, and like no actual connecting information, not even like a link to their LinkedIn or anything like that. So I was like, can we solve that problem? I want to make this, a schedule first, connection second based app where, I can see what my schedule is very easily. And once I've put my schedule together, I understand like how to get to where I'm supposed to be going. Right. So let's build out something like that. And then I want to be able to connect with people so that they can, so that it's like two ways. They can scan my QR code and get my information, but they can also send me their information. So like you don't even have to. So it's not that thing of like, yeah, let me scan yours and I'll scan yours and then we'll do this thing. It's like, no, just scan mine, send me your info. I've got it. I don't even have to worry about it. I walk away, you're in the system, we're all good. Right. Um, and there's plenty of other apps that are like that. There's plenty of other conference apps or anything or whatever. But being able to do this means, okay, if this works well for this conference for me, cool. Now I'm just going to repurpose this and call it like conference companion and make it for multiple conferences that I go to and just say, hey, look, we've already got the shell for this. Now I'm going to AI Week in Indianapolis, go grab all the data from AI Week in Indianapolis and create a new one for that. Right. And, Unbound comes about next year. Hey, update all the selections and the dates and the times and stuff. Right. I don't even have to do
Man,
anything at that point.
we'll
Right.
just have our Neuralink in place by then. And
This is
yeah,
also very true, actually. Yeah. Like, oh man, like, that's one of those that's actually it's
uh,
on
two
my
blinks if
mind.
you want to
No
connect.
pun intended.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, you blinked the wrong eye. Dang it. Now we're connected. Oh man.
See, so I was thinking about that system. I've been toying around with it. Claude actually has, and I'm not entirely sure why, but Claude Desktop has like camera access, and so I'm definitely going to play around with setting up that rig where I can look around my screen and actually control my screen just by looking. Kimi is multimodal now, and you can use the API key at the same cost as your subscription. So you don't have to go pay extra monies on top of your monthly, which never makes sense to absolutely anyone out there. If you're already paying monies, you're already paying monies. If you're already using, you're already using. It shouldn't matter where it's coming from. It should all be able to connect to the same thing. Like I've never understood that with Anthropic and with OpenAI, like why you would have to pay separately for the same thing. And then when I started building my own apps, I'm like, hey, can we make an API key? And they're like, yeah, of course. We'll just do. I'm like, really? That's all there is to it? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, so how does that work in terms of like me wanting to grant API keys? I would just put a encryption engine in here and do, right? That's like okay. Well, I'm not understanding why the rest of the world then is like having issues with hey, if you want to have access in this regard, you have to pay this particular fee, which I now have to monitor separately. And by the way, there's no API endpoint for cost. So I can't actually even set up an app or anything on my end to alert me. I just get a ding on my email whenever I've gone over the meter, right? Like, anyway, so yeah, definitely going to use the Kimi model as well and see what comes of that in terms of it's kind of the V2 for Athena is like yeah now it's a harness, right, and it definitely is going to have like voice mode and stuff. It's going to be really nice,
Yep.
but then yeah it's like well it would be nice to be able to just straight up have a conversation essentially, right?
Almost there. We are very close. And you'll hear her first when that day comes. Operating systems, Jarvis, all of that stuff. We've been building, and we're gonna keep building. And if you come hang out with us every day, you're probably gonna build some stuff too. So until next time, everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday.